Hey guys, do I have a surprise for you? Some of you guys asked me to build the Wayne Manor alongside with my Batcave, and I didn't want to at first, but then something inside me want to do it. I knew that I wasn't going to build the entire manor, at least not on the first go at it, so I thought about which section of the manor I want to focus on first. I looked at Bruce's office section from the Lego Classic Batcave set for inspiration. I knew I wanted to retain a similar look and feel, but expand on it a bit more. And I also want to bring in the grandfather clock concept from the comics. After doing a bit of research, I discovered that the Wayne Mansion is completely reimagined in the Arkham video game series, and it had the exact look and feel I was going for. With that being said, I decided to focus on the main hall of the Wayne Manor. What you see in front of you is about 5 hours of accumulated thoughts and ideas with a touch of inspiration from other builders. It all began with this grandfather clock. I wanted to incorporate the secret passageway to the Batcave, and I want the grandfather clock to conceal that passageway. These plate rail pieces serve as kind of dual purpose. One, as trim details for the walls, and two, to be able to accept the slider piece that is attached to the grandfather clock. This allows the grandfather clock to slide along the wall to either reveal or conceal the secret passageway. I still need to add a stopping mechanism so the sliding action has a fixed travel distance. This round element is supposed to be a globe that's on a very minimalistic display stand. I try to keep the house evenly lit with light fixtures on the walls, and these are pillars that are used to support the second floor, just like how they appear from the video game. These plants are also littered around just like how they are from the games. The water fountain is the centerpiece of the main hall. And even though Lego has a very limited selection of round elements, I feel like kind of this combination of parts does a pretty adequate job. I just wish that Lego had a larger dish element that I could use instead of the round tile-like element. That way I'll be able to add trans clear studs into it to represent water too. I used a clump of these brown containers in order to represent the display for the fountain. And the structural design of the main hall is pretty symmetrical. It's almost completely symmetrical except for a few differences, and also it's slightly furnished differently. On this side of the first floor, I added a bookcase and a desk just to simulate a kind of a study area, and also here's a bust of a statue in the corner. The staircase is probably one of the first things that catches the eye, so I want to make it a bit more grand than how it appears in the games, but adding a little bit more flair also by having it widen towards the base. I also felt like the stepped platform underneath the staircase adds just a bit of fanciness. I used slope pieces and telescope pieces for the stair rails. Nothing new, but I think it fits the bill. Red carpet is laid from the base to the peak of the steps. And if you played the games, you'll remember that Bruce keeps this type of display of knight armors kind of scattered around the manor. I placed the first one here at the top of the steps on the second floor, and another one just a few minifigure steps away. This one is right after one of the few main hall egresses / ingress. Since I built the main hall at a smaller scale than how it appears in the game, I had to make a few improvisations. I think the knight armor display is scaled pretty accurately, but the walkways are definitely not. So in order to work around that, I expanded the walkway a little bit here by adding this curved path that gives the minifigures more walking space. This curved rail element is nearly perfect for the job, but I just wish it came in a dark brown so it would match the telescope elements. The support pillars continues from the second floor and goes all the way up towards the roof, where there is a cross beam that connects it to the adjacent wall. Now, before we talk about the details up top, let's go over the rest of the second floor. In the games, there are two knight armor displayed here, but with based on the scale that I built this model, I wasn't able to fit them, so I added a kind of a center egress ingress with a few light fixtures instead. On the opposite end of the second floor is exactly the same structurally and how it's furnished, except for this side not having the ingress egress. This huge wall display is supposed to represent the Wayne family's portrait of Bruce and Thomas and Martha. If I ever built this with actual physical bricks, I would probably get a design printed on a sticker that could be applied to it. Same can be said about these other wall displays that represent portraits of Bruce's ancestors. This is the gargoyle that can be used as a vantage point from the game. I didn't go for accuracy, I just want to capture kind of the general shape and have Batman be able to perch from it. The large curved windows was pretty challenging to construct. I wasn't too sure how to build the curve into it, but then I finally decided to use hinge plates, and I'm pretty happy overall how it turned out. The roof is angled inwards and there are support beams that run through it. And finally, we have this grand chandelier. I want to build one large enough to fill out the mid-air space and give the room a completed look. It's strung up to the roof with the use of the chain pieces in gold. And that's a completed look of the main hall of my custom Lego Wayne Manor. There's a few changes I still want to include, such as adding a grand piano to the first floor, but for the most part, it's pretty much done. This was a nice distraction from the work I've been doing on my Batcave, but now I gotta get back to it and finish it off. Please let me and the other viewers know what you think about it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!